Do you know what is totally awesome about today, about right now? I am welcoming the amazing Voline Ogutu. Welcome to Double O Direct.
Hello.
You're very shy. You're used to, wait, and apale. You, pick that. No, say it better.
Yeah. I'm used to being the other side of things.
So just in brief, right? Give me background on you that led to you getting into the film industry. So whether you were writing, in primary school, whether you always journaled, whether you were a movie buff, movie aficionado, give me some of that background that then led to you writing your first screenplay or directing your first feature, whatever it was.
For me, it started with the drawing. I used to draw a lot of comic books. And then growing up, I used to watch a lot of TV. And for me, the thing that pushed me into writing was I was watching Merlin, and it's about this Arthurian legend. And for me, I was like
Merlin, the wizard.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Merlin. Mjui, poleni, mganga kutoka Tanzania. Maybe that's all you know, but no, seriously, continue.
Yeah, so watching Merlin, I was like, where are our African legends on the big screen? So that's what prompted me to get into writing. And my first script was about the legends of Londa Magere.
Oh!
Yeah.
Is Londa Magere related to Kit Mikai?
I have no idea yet.
Okay. Because I need to figure that. We're gonna delve into that investigative journalism bit. But tell me about your high school experience and if writing was part of your dream throughout high school.
Yeah, for me, I was alone. I've always been shy. I've always been an introvert. So for me, the best thing that would occupy my time was writing. And of course, I'd always be the best in compositions and all that. But yeah, for me, I always knew that I needed to work on my English more than my maths because I knew I was going to be a writer, yeah.
How were your parents feeling about that when you were so passionate about writing and they were thinking about, stereotypical career options like science, medicine, law? How did they feel about you saying, what I want to do is write?
Well, my mom is a scientist. My dad used to be a banker, but my mom had never been the kind of parent who was like, you have to partake in an academic career. So she has always been very supportive of my writing. When I told her I wanted to be a writer, she bought me my first laptop. So
wow.
That's why I wrote my first professional script for Jane and Abel, which was a Spielworks production for Mnet back in the day.
No. So can we just break that down so that we can digest what you've just said and what that actually means? Because you've just rolled through Spielworks, you've just rolled through Mnet like it's nothing. So we just gotta break it down gently and tell me what it is you were writing, how you came up with that storyline, and then how you ended up getting it in there.
I mean, I love horror because those are the stories my grandmother used to tell me.
Wait. Horror.
Horror.
So your grandmother used to tell you horror stories.
Yeah. From the village. So that's how I also that's also part of the reason I love storytelling.
Finish all your ugali or chutney and you'll be... No, seriously. Your grandmother used to tell you horror stories?
Yeah, about haunted huts, haunted homesteads, weird witches. That's why I really got intrigued by the storytelling space.
Okay.
So I was in my third year of campus when I saw a call from Spielworks. They're looking for writers, and one of the things you needed to do was send in an excerpt of a scene.
Tell somebody what is Spielworks, because you and I know, but people do not know.
Okay.
Generally, it's not so public. Tell us, what is Spielworks?
Spielworks is a media production company that was owned by Dorothy Getuba, who is head of commissioning content in Africa for Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we know what Spielworks is. Let's continue.
Yeah. So I just wrote a horror scene, and then I sent it in. And then a week later, I got a call. So I thought I was going in for an interview. But when I got there, it was an actual writer's room. I had already gotten the job.
Wow.
And I was amongst people who had studied in New York University, people who had a lot of experience in writing. And I felt like such an imposter because I had never...
You just knew your grandmother's horror stories from the village. Okay. But speaking of education, would you mind walking us through your educational background so you can understand, if it was really integral to you succeeding or if it's just good to have?
I want to say it's just good to have.
Yeah.
Because for me, I always knew I was going to rely on my talent and less so.
Not your amazingly good looks.
Yeah, I knew I was going to rely on my talent mostly. So for me, I just worked on my English studies and anything that I knew I needed for my writing.
What did you get in English?
I got an A.
Okay, you got an A. Fantastic. So there you were covered. Did you then go to university or get a diploma in anything?
Oh, yes. I originally wanted to study radiography, which is a study of x-rays.
I know. I was thinking radiography. I was trying to link it, but
And because I could draw, I thought I could become an architect. But because of math, I just...
Math was not your friend.
Math was not my friend.
1 + 1 was not adding up.
Yeah, so I ended up studying linguistics, media and communication in Moi University.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you do? How was your time there?
I was a loner as usual, so I didn't have the full campus experience. And then I went to the Nairobi campus, which was in this office building type of setup. So as usual, I really didn't put myself out there. And I feel like that would have benefited my writing more if I had done that. So, yeah.
With regards to the exercises you had, the assignments that you were given, do you feel they were relevant? Do you feel that they helped you grow and develop your writing skills?
I mean, yeah, especially in campus, because a lot of the topics are things I rely on now in terms of understanding character, because it was a lot of, we looked at a lot of social aspects. So for me, it has always been about understanding character in terms of what I studied in linguistics, media and communication. Yeah.
Fast forward. Yeah, you're in that writer's room. You're thinking you're going in for an interview, but you're amongst these international writers who've come from all over the world, to develop what I'm assuming is some sort of series for Mnet, right? What was day one like?
Oh, imposter syndrome was like on 100%, because I'm hearing all this. They sounded like they really knew what they were saying from a lot of training. But for me, I was purely relying on my intuition. So, of course, I had a lot of self-doubt. But when it comes to storytelling, and when we're in a writer's room, it feels like you're just telling stories. It's like a group of friends gathered just telling stories. So for me, I'd forget that I'm actually in this writer's room as an amateur and just get into the storytelling space. Yeah.
Double O Direct on SpiceFM every Saturday from 10 a.m. with a woman host, music by women artists and women guests. The cycling jersey, because tomorrow is the Jubilee Live Free race. It is happening at the KICC from 7 a.m. It's en route. Yeah. So this is outfit number 1, maybe A. Then I'm going to have outfit number 2, B. Because so much is going to be happening today on Double O Direct. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss out on all the fun. It's going to be exciting and entertaining. But speaking of entertaining, the award-winning screenwriter and director, Voline Ogutu, is here with me. So award-winning, what award did you actually win, Voline?
I won the Women in Film Best Writer in a TV Series this year.
Who was the awarding agent?
The Women in Film organization.
So Women in Film organization, and they're based out of. Remember us,
Kenya.
We are completely lay women. We know nothing. All right. So the Women in Film from Kenya awarded you
Best Screenwriter for a TV series in 2022.
Wow. Yeah. May I ask the TV series that you wrote?
For this particular award ceremony, it's usually generally they look at everything you've done and then they decide who is the winner for that particular year.
So which series have you written?
I've written a couple. So I've written Vashita.
No.
Yeah.
Vashita. It's not Eve D'Souza that writes it.
No, it's a team of writers.
I've been lied to. This whole time, it's a scandal. I'm going to find you in Nairobi or Dubai. Don't worry, I got a passport. No, but seriously, you wrote Vashita?
Yeah, I was part of the writing team for Vashita.
Yeah.
For Njoroge, for the second season of Crime and Justice, for County 49.
Yeah.
For... It's a lot.
I love it. So of all the works you've had, break them down by genre, because I'm seeing comedy, I'm seeing thriller, I'm seeing detective action. You know, I don't know where to place you. Are you a drama writer, or do they even classify writers that way?
Well, they do, but in my heart, I'm a horror sci-fi writer.
Okay, there's no horror sci-fi in that list.
I know.
What is apart from some of those? Let me say some of those reels that Eve D'Souza drops on her social. Those could be horror sci-fi. No, but seriously, have you written any horror sci-fi?
Not on a professional basis, because in Kenya, the market is usually based on or demanding of drama and comedy.
Do you know what surprised me recently?
Yeah.
When you're talking about sci-fi, guess who is following Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Who?
Do you know Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I do. Yeah.
Guess. You will never guess. I'm going to tell you. None other than the Honorable Johnson Sakaja. Do you know? Let me tell you.
What?
Because yes, I was so shocked. I had to send him a message on the Twitter and tell him, you follow Neil deGrasse, because I was thinking
unexpected.
Exactly. So you know what, Voline Ogutu, there is a sci-fi horror genre loving audience for you, because if Sax can follow Neil deGrasse, you can be our, Star Trek, Star Wars guru here.
I mean, I hope so. I could only dream.
No, I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. So you are looking to develop that. How do you get work as a screenwriter?
For me, just based on references and people just passing around.
Do you need an agent? Do you need to register with, models need to be part of an agency? How does it work for writers?
For writers in Kenya, the regular writer in Kenya normally doesn't have an agent. So it depends on word of mouth. Is someone going to refer you to a producer who's looking for writers? So for me, for the longest time, that's how I did it. But then eventually I did get an agent. Actually, I have 2 agents.
Look at you. Look at you. Are they both based in Nairobi or in Kenya, or are they global?
One is based in South Africa and another one is based in Nigeria. So just trying to get work from all over the continent.
Because since you're here, you're I'm going to handle my Nairobi business. You all can take care of my West Africa and my South Africa business.
Yeah.
Okay. In addition to your degree, because I assume you graduated from University of Nairobi when you went.
I did. My mom made sure I did.
Shout out, Sax. Shout out. Actually, shout out to Walter Mangari, who apparently got his degree recently. But the point is, your mom made sure you got your degree, but you've had trainings and you've had other sessions, professional, let's say, learning sessions. Can you tell me a little bit about that, and if somebody can go into them without having a university degree?
I mean, yes, for sure. I feel like in the arts, there's a lot that comes with the package. You're born with a lot of it. So I don't think you need a university degree to be a writer, to be honest.
Or radio presenter, just saying.
You do not. So for me, I've been a part of a lot of training opportunities. I was a part of the International Writers Lab. I was a part of the Realness Episodic Lab. I was a part of the Durban Talents.
Pause. We will need to dissect and understand what these actually are, because you're saying things, but we are not understanding what they mean. So what are the different labs and how long do they take, and do you have to pay, etc.?
So the International Writers Lab is actually free to apply. And the beauty of it was we submit our scripts for either feature film or TV. And then we spend about 3 months working on those scripts, making them ready for pitching to potential investors across the world, actually.
So it takes you from zero to hero. You kind of have some rough idea of what you want to write. You put something down. Feature films, of course, are about an hour 20, hour 10.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at television. Are you looking at a 45, 1 hour, 30 minute? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It could be 45 minutes. It could be 30 minutes.
And does it have to be like a television drama, or can it be like any kind of TV show?
Any kind of TV show, but for the International Writers Lab specifically, they're looking for content that was authentic to Africa, especially to the locale, that the stories would be told. Yeah.
Okay, that's incredible. So you apply online?
Yeah, you apply online, and then if you're lucky enough, you get it. And then part of the bonus as well was the International Writers Lab was flying us to festivals in Hollywood.
We don't care where we're flying to. We heard flying. We are there. Okay, can you just put down that as something we need to do? We missed that green card, Nini. This one, we're gonna get it.
Yeah. So we got an opportunity to actually attend the American Black Film Festival this year in Miami.
When was it?
It was, I think, in June or July.
Yeah, you do so many things. I can't remember when you were in the US, flown in to do that thing. Okay.
So that was the courtesy of the International Writers Lab, and we actually got to network with a lot of executives from Warner Bros. And HBO. So that was a really good opportunity. And the beauty about that project as well is that in most cases, when the workshop ends, then everything is over. But for the International Writers Lab, they're going to continue trying to get your script out there. They're going to continue to try to get your project actually purchased by reputable networks across the world. Yeah.
Media.co.ke. I'm Olivia Otieno. This is 00 Direct Saturdays. Woman host, woman guests, music by women, Floetry and Alicia Keys. Gonna be continuing my vibe, but I have, you know what, the amazing Voline Ogutu, an award-winning screenwriter and director her series has just received the green light from... Yes, we are going to be Netflixing to her new series. But you've had quite a journey. So remind me, from that first, you walked in, international writers, to today, how much time has passed?
About between
when you were there going for that writer's room for your Mnet series to today.
It's been about 7-8 years now.
7-8 years.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, but I took a long break after the first 2 years.
May I ask why?
Because I don't know, like I just felt like maybe I needed to recalibrate my career because like being an artist in Kenya is hard.
Let me tell you, recent hey, what's the right politically correct safe term? Yeah. Recent events will show that anything in Kenya is hard. But writing, being an artist, yeah, it really, really is. So were you looking to study and do something else? Or were you just not getting work? Or what was happening in those 2 years?
So in the first year, I worked with Spillworks for a year. And then the head writer for the project I was working on started her own company and hired me as one of her story developers. So I was responsible for developing and storylining the episodes for the series we were actually doing. One of that is How to Find a Husband and Wrath, which How to Find a Husband was on Mnet and Wrath ended up on Fox Life.
Wrath?
Yeah, Wrath.
W-R-A-T-H or W-R-A-I-T-H?
W-R-A-T-H. Yeah.
Okay. So she was a Kenyan developing these series for Fox, or she was from South Africa?
Oh, no, she was from Tanzania working in Kenya. And then eventually she, I think, licensed it to Fox Life.
So there's a lot of creativity from the region that's being experienced globally.
Yeah.
And you weren't necessarily out of the industry. You didn't suddenly start baking and selling muffins, or working in an office as, an accountant or something. You were still in the industry, just not doing what you wanted to, what you were passionate about.
Yeah, because the company then closed, and then I took some time off, just focusing on my painting. I went back to basics.
Focusing on your painting, which we may see where?
Maybe in the near future. It was in 2016 in the Machakos Film Festival that I decided to come back into the film industry. And I won that year's competition for my film Seed. So that gave me motivation to continue.
Your film was called?
It was called Seed. You can find it on YouTube.
I apologize, but I don't know if you're saying seed as in kiti or seed as in, I don't know what the Swahili word
seed
for seed is.
Mbegu, panda mbegu.
Yeah, mbegu. Okay, great. So take me through your writing process, because what inspires you, and then when you get that inspiration, Is it instant? Take me through the entire process from conception to I'm ready to present.
Okay, I usually write what I feel. What am I feeling in that moment? So, for example, with Seed, it's a story about a woman who's broke, finds this seed that she can plant, and it produces money. But then the twist is you have to water it with blood, you know?
But you and your horror,
right?
grandma.
So, like, if you water it with chicken blood, it produces 200 shillings. If you water it with goat blood, 500 shillings. But if you water it with people blood, it's even more money. So the character is finding herself in a situation that she has to keep escalating. But, you know, so for me, it was at a time when I was broke.
Yes, I can.
And, you know, the Kenyan saying, when our parents are like, unafikiria natoa pesa kwa mti.
Yeah.
So for me, that was the idea process. So after that, then I storyline.
Yes.
And then I map out the story. I see the structure, the twists, what is the character development for the character, because all of those elements are important. So all of it has to come together in a way that would make sense and would still be of service to the story and the character.
So you just start by writing a story. Just write a story, Once you're finished, and then you have all the characters, right? Then you start developing each character, a little bit of their background, a little bit of their present and their future. Then you like mix it all together. And what timeline did you give yourself? What was the timeline for Seed?
For Seed, actually an idea strikes like lightning.
Yeah.
So the moment it comes up, it can take even hours to just finish a script.
Wow.
But sometimes it takes longer, depending on the story and what the story needs. Yeah.
So with the specific example of the one you just told me for Seed, can you tell me roughly how long it took you?
It took me about 7 hours, 6, 7 hours.
6, 7 hours, and you were done.
I was done.
If someone said, I want to shoot this, you were going to shoot.
We shot it.
Okay, how long did shooting take?
That was a day, 2 days to shoot it. Yeah.
And what was the prize at the Machakos Film Festival?
It was 1.2 million.
Mumbi, you get to fly to the US. You get to get millions of shillings.
I know.
I love it. I absolutely love it. What did you do with that money?
Okay, I was young, so
you're still young. I mean, your youth hasn't ended. It's still there.
I'm gonna be honest. We paid the people involved in the project, the crew.
Yes.
And then the rest of it, we shot a pilot for a series we wanted to pitch to.
I am very bored by your youth. Let me be honest. When someone says, I was young, I'm expecting, girl, we checked into this club no, you shot a pilot.
And then like that year, remember I'd just come back into the industry.
Yeah.
So that year, I wasn't getting jobs. So that money acted like for me and my partner who did the film.
You are so sensible. I am dying. Yes, no. In fact, we're going to play some Flowetry. We're going to get back to you and your sensibility. The track is called Say Yes. Continue my conversation with Voline Ogutu. What makes her amazing other than her smile? Well, she is an award-winning screenwriter and director, and you got your project, your new thriller series, greenlit by Netflix. How was that feeling when you got the email, call? What did they do?
It was a Zoom call.
It was a Zoom.
Yeah.
So they set up a whole Zoom to tell you that you've got it.
I was shocked and excited and happy. It was like a lot of emotions at the same time.
Would they set up that Zoom to say, here we are, all 8 of us, but no, sorry, Voline, you didn't get it? Or you know automatically?
No, you find out on the call.
You find out on the call?
Yeah, but they're really nice people, so you're going to smile either way, whether you get it or not.
No, you're going to smile either way. I would be like, hang up, break my computer. No. But the point is, how did you get to that? I understand that you were part of the episodic lab.
Yeah.
Walk me through that. Paint me a picture.
Oh, wow. So the Realness Episodic Lab is facilitated by the Realness Institute and their partnering with Netflix.
The Realness Institute.
Yes.
That's a great name.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's a great name.
Yeah, it's all about being real.
Yeah.
And they're in partnership with Netflix for this particular training program.
Is it Realness as in REEL or REAL?
Real. How do you...
a reel for film or real being a real deal?
Like real deal.
Okay, REAL.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I was just checking, they could have played on the movie.
Yeah, you can play it both ways.
Yeah. So how did you get onto the Episodic Lab?
So there's an application process that is very competitive. And it's, I applied. Of course, you pay a small fee.
Which is small.
Okay, it is. We paid 35 euros.
Okay, that is not so bad.
It's not so bad.
It's not so bad.
For the returns you get eventually in terms of...
It's cheaper than a visa, most visas. Visas are expensive.
Yeah.
So, okay, so how did you hear about it to apply in the first place?
So the first time I heard about the training opportunity was last year. So it was all over the media, actually. It was on there. And then I knew someone who had actually applied the other year as well and had gotten in. So it was word of mouth and through the media as well.
So it's really important as a writer or as a creative to constantly be searching for opportunities. Don't wait for opportunities to fall in your lap. Constantly search, because there may be opportunities out there that you're just not getting because you're not applying for them.
Yeah, and especially for me, the dream had always been to write African content on an international global platform. And of course, I also wanted to write other genres. And a platform like Netflix was going to give me that opportunity. And I'd also had a lot of good things about the Realness Institute in terms of their training techniques. So I also wanted to grow in that capacity because I'm not someone who went to film school. So for me, this was an opportunity to further grow in my writing and as well gain access to a platform that I had always wanted to work with.
Realness Institute, they're based out of?
They're based out of South Africa.
Based out of South Africa.
Yeah.
So you hear about this opportunity. You go onto their digital website, whatever. Tell me about your application process.
So the application process is actually really simple. For any writer, it's something that they require things that are always on a basic pitch deck. The characters, who are your characters? What is the story? What is the episodic breakdown? Because at the end of the day, this is an episodic lab. Because at the end of the process, you get to pitch your concept to Netflix executives who will listen and assess if it's a show that would be a good fit for the platform. So at the end of the day, it's also, when you're applying, you have to think about your series in terms of longevity, as well as the localization, as well as it's going on Netflix. What kind of concept would work with Netflix as well? So yeah, those are the things you consider when you are applying. First of all, the key thing is always the story. The story and the characters, I think, is the main part of it, because that will inform even the episodes you're gonna break down eventually. Yeah.
So you go online, you submit online?
Yeah, you submit online. It's an online application process.
So for me, when I submit stuff online, depending on what it is, sometimes it can take 5 minutes. When I'm looking for a visa, it takes me years. No, I'm just kidding. No, but how long did your submission process take?
Well, luckily, the page has a save button, so you can keep coming back. You can keep coming back to it. At least at the time I applied, there was. But for me, my strategy was to write it down on Word and to actually be in line with the story, and then I would then copy paste it to the platform so that I wouldn't stay too long on the page. So, but then it all comes down to how long you work on your story. It's about the story.
I love that, because I do the same with those visa applications. I write them. No, it's true. It's true. I write them, but on doc, because I don't want that Word document to maybe disappear and then hell breaks loose. So I put it on Google Doc, right, or Sheets or whatever it's called, and then I upload it. Like I've gone through it, spell check, all those things. How long is it? Am I being wordy? I love that. So then you uploaded it. How long from the minute you submitted, like I'm done, submit, no going back now, to when you got your first communication?
Oh, that was an interesting time in my life, because I had just been selected for the UNESCO film competition, folktale competition. And at that time I was like, I will be so lucky to get the Realness Episodic Club / Netflix as well. So the deadline, because they usually tell you when they're gonna respond. The first stage is you apply, and then at some point you're gonna get an email or a call that you're part of the top 30, and you're going to be called for a Zoom call interview with the Realness Institute. So I went through that process.
How long? Is it a month, 2 weeks, 6 months?
It was about 3 weeks to a month, from what I can recall,
yes.
that I was called in for the shortlist. So after the shortlist...
how was that process? How was that call?
Oh my God, it's always tense. But as usual, when you get into the room, the Realness team is really friendly and they make you feel very comfortable. And it's back into that writer's room feeling where you're just telling a story to your peers. And yeah, it was a really, really empowering process. I came in afraid, but then I left feeling really empowered. Yeah.
How many were they on the Zoom?
Oh, a lot of people. For me, when I'm on Zoom, I usually, especially when I'm pitching, I usually don't look to see how many people are there because that makes me nervous.
So give me a rough estimate. Was it like, my small meetings with my crew of like 3, or is it like a Standard Group staff comms where you have like, 400, 800 people? Like how many people? 10, 15, 6?
I know. From what I could guess, it was about 5 to 6.
Okay.
But my memory, that's what I can remember.
And where were they? Were they Netflix and Episodic Lab or just Episodic Lab people?
There was Episodic Lab, Realness people, and I think there was a Netflix representative, I think.
Okay.
From what I can recall. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
what's that one question they asked you during that Zoom call that you can remember that you think, what's that one question?
For me, it's the why are you applying to this? Because the why, at the end of the day, even with characters, you're always like, why? So, sorry. So for me, it was the why of it. Mm-hmm. And the why had always been like what I said. I hadn't gone to film school. And I felt like I needed to be part of a process that would uplift my writing. And from a lot of sources, a lot of writers that I know who had been part of the writers lab were like, Voline, you have to be part of that writers lab. And of course, when I joined, I understood what they meant because, for me, they encouraged me to write from an authentic place. Because as a writer, especially when you're used to just writing to earn a living, because that's what I had been doing for a long time, there's a lot of things that really pass you by. You don't really write from an authentic place. You're writing for financial benefit.
You're writing for the client. You're writing for, the next paycheck. You're writing for an audience you think will consume it and pay for it, etc.
Exactly. And a lot of the times you don't even get a lot of feedback for, because it's like a factory of stories. You just churn like one story after the next. But with the Realness Institute, there's a point at which, I wrote as I was used to. And then, of course, there's always a feedback session for every week you're given an assignment based on the story you've submitted and the areas you need to grow in. And so for me, I'd get feedback of, I don't believe you. You're hiding something. Come out. So that's, for me, what helped strengthen my idea.
This is Double O Direct. I am Olivia Otieno. Tunes. Ladisi is coming up, but I'm with Voline Ogutu. We're about to talk money. Money. Hit me. Come on, don't leave me hanging. Money. Voline. It's a good thing you're a good screenwriter.
Right?
It's a good thing you're a good director.
I should keep my day job.
I'm telling you. I am telling you. Who do we have as a Sanai Tande? You're safe.
You're safe, right?
You're safe. No, but seriously, tell me about the money involved in the writing industry. I already know you won 1.3 million, and you're so level-headed, you reinvested it in I don't know what. But the point is, tell me about the other opportunities. For example, can you make a living simply and only writing for Varshita?
I survived on Varshita at a point in my life. The money is, it's above 20,000 for sure per episode. But the beauty is they commission so many episodes, you end up making a lot of money out of it. When you
say so many episodes, is it 10, 20, 30 episodes?
We have 13 episodes per season, and they usually commission in terms of like 4 seasons each. In blocks of 4 seasons.
In blocks of 4 seasons. I'm going to switch this on. I'm going to try and do that mathematics because I know I'm going to ask you. You suck at math. So I'm gonna try and get the app for the calculator. And once I get it, I'm gonna make that calculation. But tell me more about the other projects that you've been involved in and the money associated with it, especially that interesting UNESCO project. Was it Luanda Magere?
No, it is a folktale.
A folk tale. It was
Yeah.
actually called a folk tale?
Now, the folktale is called Anyango and the Ogre. Yeah.
And Nyango and the Ogre.
Yeah, it's based on an African folktale that
Yes.
has different variations across African communities.
Okay. So how was that money-wise?
It means in the public space, we got around 75,000, above 75,000 for the production of the films, and a couple thousand for the prize money for the winning writers.
So you're saying 75,000. Please give me
US
currency.
dollars. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because I was thinking.
Okay, 75,000 US dollars for the production of the films. And of course, there was a cash prize of a couple $1,000 for the winning writers.
So the dollar is at what, Mumbi? Is it 110? 120? 135? I can see you. It's 125. Okay, so the dollar is at 125 according to Mumbi. So that's just over 9 million, 9.3 million
yeah,
in
for
today money.
the production of the films.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's go back to that Vershita. I am loving this Galaxy tab. I'm gonna have it all the time. So you're telling me about 20,000, per episode, and it's 13 per season. So that's 260,000 for 13 episodes, and they'd order in batches of 4. So we're gonna multiply that by 4. That's over 1 million shillings. That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not bad. There are other writers in the room as well, but even then, you do make a decent living.
And you can do other projects concurrently, right?
Yeah, that's the beauty. You work as a freelance writer, which means you're not just working on one show. You're writing on a bunch of shows. So income from all those shows actually comes to decent living.
So the writing for, let's say, an episode of Vershita, how much time in terms of hours, woman hours, are we talking per episode?
Personally, for me,
Because you're awesome. Yeah, let's get it out there.
yeah, because writers write at a different pace. For me, I would take about 2 to 3 days per episode.
Okay.
And I'd also act as the head writer in terms of I would edit scripts from other writers as well.
I love that. I love that. So UNESCO was great for you.
Yeah.
You really enjoyed that journey. So now you're at Episodic Labs. You've gotten that Zoom with those 6 people saying you're shortlisted. When did you get the confirmation that you were in? When did you get the confirmation from the people at Netflix that you're actually in?
So for me, like during the shortlist, they usually tell you a day that they would get back to you. And
Yes.
of course, if you don't get the call, then you'd get an email with a very polite rejection.
Are these, I'm just going to ask this. Are these Africans or Caucasians or Europeans? Who are you dealing with?
I'm dealing with Africans, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, even
From where?
from South Africa.
Okay, because we need that culture here. I'm going to get back to you on this day. I'm going to write to you at this time. We're going to meet at this place. Because I'm like, who are these people whom I don't know? Because they are very good with their communication, aren't they?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so good. So they told you we'll get back to you, and then they did.
Yeah, on the day of the feedback, I didn't hear from them. So I automatically assumed, I didn't make the cut, but at least I tried, right?
Yes.
So, but then I got a call on a day I didn't expect. And then, of course, it was a really wonderful call from the founder telling me that
The
I had
founder of?
the Realness Institute. One of the founders.
Okay, I was just like, wow, okay.
Yeah, one of the founders
Yes, yes.
of the Realness Institute told me that I had made it into the program. And I was so excited because this is a program I had always wanted to be part of.
So tell me how prestigious this is as a program with a number of people they actually admit annually from across the continent.
Wow, it's a very prestigious training opportunity in terms like they only pick 6 writers across Africa, not just those living in Africa, even Africa diaspora. So you're competing with Africans across the
Africans
world.
in the US,
Yeah.
Africans in Japan,
Yeah.
Africans in Australia.
Yeah.
So the definition of the African is what? They have no, because I want to understand. Like,
Yeah.
is it because just because being black, or is it because you have a Kenyan passport? How do they make that distinction?
I mean, you have to be. I know a lot of Africans in the diaspora have the countries that lineage here in terms of their parents are from either Ghana or Kenya, but they've also been in Africa and understand the African experience.
Dual citizenship, or that doesn't matter at all? Because I'm trying to break this down because I know people. No, just so okay, fine. So they only pick 6 out of, because you told me there was a short list of 30.
Yeah.
And then from that 30, you're one of the 6.
Yeah.
So you being one of the 6, were there any other Kenyans?
Oh yeah, there was one more Kenyan.
We are so on fire as creatives.
We are on fire.
Who was the other Kenyan?
The other Kenyan was Hussein Kurji.
Hussein Kurji.
Yeah, and then we had Mona as well in the development executive traineeship.
Yes.
Which is also in conjunction with the episodic lab.
The other 4 were from?
The other 4 were from South Africa. There was Nigeria, and I think, South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria, because the competition actually is specifically targeting Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you get the call from one of the founders of the Realness Institute.
Yeah.
You're told you've been admitted.
Yeah.
How long was the entire training?
The entire training was 3 months of intense story development. If it was cleaning, it would be spring cleaning. Like, you look at every single detail of the story.
No. The description is that cleaning you do when you're moving into a new rental.
Yes.
You know that new rental clean?
Yeah.
The one that you never, your exercise, in fact, you're going molecular.
Yeah.
Because whoever lived there before you, you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And where was that happening?
I mean, before you even apply, they're going to send you, not apply, before you even start the program, they're going to send you a bunch of questions like, are you willing to rethink some of your ideas in terms of, are you open to change certain elements of your story? Because they know you'll have to start from a point of, okay, I'm starting afresh with the story. I'm looking at the story from a fresh lens. So that was honestly the main process of, you're getting a chance to examine every single aspect of your story. And by the end of that program, your story is leaps and bounds ahead of where it was in the beginning, for sure.
Is it virtual? So you're just, you stayed in Nairobi the whole time?
No, a majority of the program was virtual. We'd have Zoom calls from Wednesday to Friday, 3 times a week.
How long?
Each day was about 5 hours.
A 5-hour Zoom?
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But of course, there were breaks.
Okay.
And then the program is you're not just sitting there working on like development all the time.
Yeah.
There are games that you can play in terms of storytelling. Mm-hmm. Like, it's really fun.
It's really fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The program is very well balanced in terms of development, in terms of the story, in terms of like activities. Yeah.
And in those 3 months, do you get a stipend? Do you get paid?
Oh.
Is there... Oh! I love that reaction. Tell me about the money or the perk.
I mean, because it's on the application. You get paid for the time you're spending. Mm-hmm. It's 2,000 USD per month.
2,000 USD. That's over 200,000 shillings. About 220, 230.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that you can focus on your story.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quit my job. I'm all right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get that for every single month that you're, and then at the end, when did you finish?
So, hey, do I remember? I think
was it this year?
Yeah, this year, a few months ago, actually. It hasn't been that long.
Okay.
We finished. And then, of course, the last leg of the program is you fly to South Africa for a week where, of course, you are polishing up your pitch deck and getting ready to pitch to Netflix.
So you pitched to the Netflix team in South Africa?
Yeah, we pitched actually twice, once in the middle of the program, and then they give you notes. And then the last pitch session is in South Africa.
How was that pitch session?
Oh my God.
You?
Oh my God. It was amazing because I'm going to be honest, being a writer from Kenya, for the longest time, I didn't even think it was possible to be in a room pitching my project to Netflix. I thought I was going to be like forever drama and comedy, you know?
Yes.
So for me, it was a life-changing moment. And I had been properly prepared by the Realness team. And yeah, I was ready. And I'm very lucky that the Netflix team was actually the Netflix commissioning team was present and was willing to listen to my story, and they were very, very accepting and warm. Of course, it goes back to that story that we are all writers, we are all storytellers, and that's the feeling I got. Yeah.
Second last question.
Yeah.
When is your series going to be on Netflix?
I'm not sure yet. We're still in the writing phase of it.
Give me a hope and dream. Are we talking 2023? Are we talking 2024?
I mean, let's wait and see. Just watch this space.
Final words, advice to those who are thinking, I love Voline Ogutu. I love what she does. I would love to be her and do what she does. I think there's enough room for all of us. What can you tell that young woman? What can you tell that little girl?
I'm telling that girl or the writer that, I mean, your dreams are very valid, because for the longest time I didn't think I was worthy to even chase my dreams. But of course it has to take persistence and perseverance, and you just constantly need to be your own cheerleader as well. Of course you're going to have cheerleaders, but you always have to be your own cheerleader, because if you don't believe in that dream, then honestly, no matter who cheers for you, the dream is dead in the water. And of course I'm going to say always reach, because I mean the Realness Institute, the episodic club with Netflix, they have open calls. Don't feel afraid that you are not experienced. Just trust in your talent and apply. Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I had the best time with Voline Ogutu, award-winning screenwriter and director, greenlit to come up with an amazing new series for Netflix. Have yourself an amazing weekend.
Thank you. This was so amazing. Thank you.
I said